里那些华丽的冒险，迪拜的每个地方都有独特的魅力。
Are you the self-proclaimed nice girl? The one that is always doing the most and going above and beyond for others?
Yeah.
Like people pleasers, aka doormats that they can walk all over, are the ones that are taking advantage. Narcissists love doormats because they can take so much mental and emotional advantage of you. A man-child loves doormats because they happily cook and clean for their man-child when asked. There was a story in the book that really stood out to me. This girl happened to be a friend of the author's, and know that this girl is drop-dead gorgeous, okay? Literally model material. But for some reason, she was very, very insecure, and as a result, she also fell into the cycle of doing so much for a man to prove that she was worthy of being with, or to prove to him that there's going to be, quote-unquote, no one like her. And there was this instance where she was over at her boyfriend's house helping him clean his apartment when they got into an argument, and he said some really, really nasty stuff. And guess what? Guess what our model friend did? Bestie said, "That's rude, but let me finish your laundry first before I leave." And during the interview for the book, the guy said that he knew what he did and what he said was wrong. And before he said anything, he wanted to see how the girl was going to react, if she was going to tolerate what he just said, his behavior, and put him in his place and tell him to never speak to her like that again. In fact, he wanted her to fight back, even just a little. And when she stayed to finish the laundry, he just lost respect for her because she didn't even respect herself. Being a bitch doesn't mean that you are mean to everyone. It simply means that you allow yourself to have standards.
That's what I mean.
Boundaries. For example, our model friend.
Okay.
She should have left the second that her boyfriend.
Jadi ya buat kalian perempuan, kalian tuh harus baca ini buku Why Men Love Bitches, oke? Kalau enggak, lu bakalan jadi doormat selamanya buat laki-laki mau kondo. Udah mau kondo, nggak respect.
Friend said something disrespectful. The doormat lets her man get away with anything and everything. And therefore her man is
Bisanya nyuruh-nyuruh lu.
whatever he wants because he knows that she'll never leave. A bitch
Boleh nyuruh, tapi must be equal.
Kind of disrespect.
Gitu loh.
She probably would have demanded a date to begin with rather than going to his
You
apartment
can
to be
lah.
a housekeeper. A
But
bitch
equal lah.
and pushes a man to get his shit together because he knows that she won't tolerate anything less. One of my favorite lessons from the book is this. Just because you can do everything doesn't mean you should. It's as simple as you know that you have two arms and you know that you can open your own doors, but you still allow a man that you're with to be a gentleman and open your doors for you.
Exactly.
You're allowing a man to be a man, letting him open
Man to be a man. It's not man to be a girl. You know, it's not a man mintanya lay down, terus the girl become like your doormat. No.
You should. A trap that I see a lot of women falling into, and trust me, I'm not proud to say this as well, but I've been there also, where you find yourself doing the most to almost prove to a man that you, quote-unquote, got it also. And I remember when I was back in high school, and I wanted to prove that, oh my goodness, this is so embarrassing, but I wanted to prove to this guy that I was seeing in high school, I was one of those kids. But I wanted to prove that I can also pay for dates. And instead of allowing a man to prove to me that he deserves to be with me, bestie, I was proving myself with a man. You see, I just learn from my mistakes. And I could say this, after doing the inner work, I came to the realization that during that period, I was not in a very good financial situation. My family, we had our ups and downs with a business going under, and my parents was just starting to find some stability with a new business that we had. So at the time, I wanted people to see that I was actually doing well financially, because previously when we weren't, it was a little embarrassing for me. I didn't want them to see that vulnerable side of me, and I didn't want them to think that I was struggling at home. And so I felt like I needed to go the extra mile to prove that point. Movie tickets were like $15 per ticket, so the date was like $30. But like, guys, in high school, that was a lot of money to me. And I guess I was very insecure when my family wasn't doing well, but they were still doing their best to provide for me with everything